Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this Rayfoto 3-channel 4K dash cam with built-in Wi-Fi. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description on Amazon, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So I'll get this shrink wrap off. So if we look on the back here, it says LSO 5D dash cam. Features are 4K Ultra HD, 415 Sony sensor, 8 million pixels, 256 gigabytes max, 3 cameras, night vision, built-in Wi-Fi, built-in GPS, super capacitor, parking monitor, G sensor, loop recording. And this is what's in the box. It has the dash camera, the cabin camera, the rear camera, USB charger cord, electrostatic film for sticky mount, a 32 gigabyte SD card, and I think that's probably a micro SD card, we'll check, and a user manual. Okay, so here we have the manual. So I'll be reading through this to figure out how to use it, and I'll go over some of the key features, but let's take a quick look here at the specs. So the screen size is a 3.19 inch LED, aperture is 1.8, colors black, language is English, photo resolution is 2, 5, 8, or 12 megapixels, photo format is JPEG, video codec is H.264 MP4. So here we have the video resolutions. So you can pause if you want to read through all this. So it lists out the different resolutions here for UHD, QHD, and FHD, and then it lists the combinations you can use. So it says GPS track support, G sensor built-in, loop recording support, motion detection support, Wi-Fi support, parking mode support, micro SD card. This says max 128, but the box said 256. Not sure which one of those is correct, but it says class 10 or above high speed. Mic support, speaker support, USB port for charging only. Power interface is 5 volts at 2.5 amps, and the working temperature is -20 to 60 degrees Celsius. So that would be -4 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to read through the rest of this, but let's take a look at the hardware real quick. So this appears to be the dash camera. We have a camera here. There's a little lens cover on here. I'll peel that off when I'm ready to test it, but I wanted to point it out so you remember to peel it off. If you have a bad looking image, it might be because that's still on there. Looks like we have the interface here. Camera connector, and there is a micro SD card and another connector there. Buttons on the bottom, microphone. Looks like we have power, up, OK, down, and M might be mode. So here's a piece of film. You would attach this to your windshield on the inside, and then you can attach the device to this. That will make it easier to say remove in the future, and it will give you a good surface to stick to. So these are the other parts that aren't the main camera. Okay, so lots of parts here. Let me sort through this. This looks to be the interior camera. So this points on the inside. So this is a 3-channel dash cam. This will film the road in front of you. It'll film behind you, and it also films the cabin. And this is a little eyeball looking camera, so you can point this where you want to. So you could point this at you, the driver, or maybe it's your kid that's driving if you want to keep track of them, or you could point it more towards the back seat. Say you're doing like a rideshare program and you want to point to the rest of the cabin, so you can aim that where you need it to aim, and it looks like that will plug in on the side here. So here's the power cable. It has a mini USB port, plugs into 12 volts of your car. Looks like it has a little status light on there. This looks to be the mount for this, so it's magnetic, so you can mount this to your windshield and then pull this unit off, and there is film on this too. Here we have some self-adhesive clips on here for helping to route the wire. They have an adhesive on the back, a double stick adhesive, and we have a little spudger tool. 32 gigabyte micro SD card. Here's another piece of adhesive. It looks like it would be the same as this one here, and it does look like that's a spare. And here we have the rear camera. So this looks like it rotates like so, plugs in the back here, and then we have the cord you run up to the front camera, and that also comes with that extra piece of adhesive. So I've mentioned a couple times that you want to make sure you get all the film off the lenses and the screen here so you have good image quality. So I'm going to read through the manual here, and I'll come back and I'll demonstrate this on my bench real quick, and then I'll take it out, I'll put it in my car, and I'll demonstrate it there. Okay, so I have the main unit here. First thing, I'll take off the screen protector like so. Next, I can pull this rubber piece off the side and put the cabin camera on. Now, if you're not using the cabin camera, you could leave that piece in. So this will plug in like so. That's how far in it plugs. And then we have the mount, and this has magnets on it and connectors. And then we have, well, I don't know which side it's magnets or metal, but it magnets together, and it has connectors. So it fits on like that. And it's on there pretty good. You have to pry pretty good to get it off, so that's nice. And then this of course pivots, and the power comes in here. So there's two things I need to plug in here. I need to plug in the reverse camera and the power. So I'll plug the power in here, and then I'll plug the reverse camera in. And I haven't plugged the power into 12 volts yet. So next I'm going to plug this into my benchtop battery supply. So I'll plug power in here. So the main reason I'm doing this on my bench is because it's just easier to do than in my car. Okay, hopefully that's easy to see. So here we have the time zone. So I will go down to +5, GMT +5. I think that's my current time zone. And then we have the date, and that is December 20th. So when I held this down, it didn't go automatically. You have to hit it each time. And this is pretty small type here. So if you have trouble seeing this, you might want to get someone else to do this for you if you don't have glasses or magnifying glass. I can see it fairly well. I just have to make sure my head's a proper distance from this to focus. The time is 2. Now enter the time. And then you have the format, and it's currently day, month, year. I'm going to change that to month, day, year. Okay, and here it looks like we have the 3 cameras. So it's saying, please insert an SD card. So I'll put my hand in front so you can see my hand here. And I still have the cover on here. I don't want to get these dirty. And then over here, I have the backup camera. So you can see that I'm moving it around and my hand is over this other camera. So I'm going to press mode here. So I'll insert the SD card. Okay, so it looks like the SD card, the label needs to be pointed towards the front of the car.
Format SD card.
Okay, it's asking me to format it. So I'll press down and say OK. And now it's recording. So as I'm looking at this, if I press the up and down buttons, it'll show different cameras. So this is the front camera, this is the cabin camera, and this is the rear camera over here. So if I want to start and stop recording, I'll press the OK button. Okay, so it's recording now. I'll press it again to stop. So to switch between modes, I'll hold down the M button. Now we're in photo mode, so I can press OK to take a picture. I'll hold that down again. That puts me in playback mode. So I can watch the things that I recorded. You can see the videos here. Then I can hold down mode again. I can delete or protect. Okay, so I'll hold down the down button to go to Wi-Fi mode, and then I'm going to switch over to my iPad here. Most people would use a smartphone. I'm using the iPad just because it's a bigger screen for the sake of the video. I'll tap on the Rayfoto Wi-Fi access point. The password is 123456778. I'll hit join. Okay, so we're joined to that. So to connect to the app, I'll go to my app store. I'll search for Kacam. I'll download that. I'll open it. It wants to use my location, so I'll say allow while using app. Now I'm connected to the device. I'll say OK. It'll allow it to use my network. I'll say add dashcam. It says connecting. It says done. And now we have a live view of the dashcam. So we can start and stop recording. It looks like we have file here. I'll stop recording. I'll go to file. It says it would like to access my photos, so I'll allow access right now. There's some photos I took. Here's some video. I'll tap on one of those. I'll tap the little camera. I'll say download. And that will download it to my device. Okay, it downloaded to my albums. So I can back out of here. I'm on the main screen again. This has other options. It has sound recording. So these are the options we can change on the camera, but we can turn them on and off here. We can switch our mode to video or camera, looks like. We can switch the camera to front, rear, rear to, or all. We can switch the resolution. Let's look at the settings here real quick. Here we can change photo size. We can change our resolution. Our loop recording is set to 3 minutes. We can change that. WDR is wide dynamic range. We can change that. EV is our exposure level, has motion detection. So this is if you have a kit to power this while your car is off. So then it acts kind of like a security camera. So you can turn that on. Has microphone, date label, G sensor. That's set to medium. So that would be if you get in a wreck, it will record everything and then it will lock the video. So you'll have that like it could be used as evidence or something. We have automatic video, that's turned on, and picture-in-picture on all camera. Synchronize time, so we can synchronize time with our device. So that would be an easier way to set the time. We can format the TF card. We have the Wi-Fi name, the network password. We can reset the default settings. So I think the app will mostly be useful for downloading recordings off of this device. That being said, you might have the reverse camera on here and you're trying to back up a trailer and hook it up to a hitch. And you might pull it up on your phone because it has a bigger screen than this little screen here, and that might be of greater assistance. So with recording turned off, I can press the mode button, and that will take me into a menu here where we have the video settings. So we can change the resolution here, loop recording, rear camera mirror, that will make your rear camera look like your rear view mirror, motion detection, time-lapse record, record audio, WDR, frequency, G sensor, and exposure. So these are the same settings we saw in the app. Then we have playback mode, has normal, locked video and picture, park monitor. So this is asking if it's connected to the hardwired device, and if it is, that will let you do that. We have date, time, Wi-Fi, stamp. So this will put the timestamp, the speed stamp, and the GPS stamp on the video. Micro SD card. It has storage format remind. This will remind you to format it occasionally. Then we have SD card format, SD card info. Tells us how big our card is. It's 32 gig. We have language, system settings. Has a fatigue driving reminder. So this will remind you to take a break after 1, 2, or 4 hours. It says speed unit. So this shows miles per hour or kilometers per hour. I use miles per hour. I'll switch that. And the ketone. Screensaver, infrared LED. So the cabin camera has infrared LED on it to see at night. We have your time zone and the GPS info. So this is telling us how many satellites it's seeing. Right now it's seeing none because I'm in my basement. And then we have version. That tells us the version we're on. So I'm going to go install this in my car, and then I'll shoot some test footage of me driving with this. Okay, so I have this all set up in my car. I'm in my 1997 Land Cruiser. I'm about to enter the highway here. I have the front camera on 2K mode because I'm recording the rear camera and the cabin camera at the same time. So it's very windy out and I have some wind noise, so I'm not sure how well the audio is coming through on this. According to my speedometer, I'm doing just under 60 miles an hour, so maybe about 59. I don't know how accurate that is. Okay, so I have this all set up in my car. I'm in my 1997 Land Cruiser. I'm about to enter the highway here. I have the front camera on 2K mode because I'm recording the rear camera and the cabin camera at the same time. Okay, so I have this all set up in my car. I'm in my 1997 Land Cruiser. I'm about to enter the highway here. I have the front camera on 2K mode because I'm recording the rear camera and the cabin camera at the same time. So that's the Rayfoto 3-channel 4K dash cam with built-in Wi-Fi. As you might have seen in some of my cabin videos, I don't have the wires all properly routed yet. It was well below freezing when I shot that video, so I'll have to go back later to do a more proper install. But I wanted to get this up so I could do the sample videos. I found this to be very easy to use. Once I plugged in power, when I turned the car on and off, it supplied power to the 12-volt outlet in my car, and that would activate and turn off the dash cam. Since this has a capacitor in it, it has energy in it to shut it down and properly close the video file so it doesn't get corrupted. So a couple things to point out. When I first set up the interface, I put the time in here. I think it's so much easier if you just go in the app and have it synchronize the time. Another thing about the time, I shot some video with all 3 cameras and then I disconnected the cameras to do just the front camera. And when I did that, it seemed to reset the time. It didn't reset the time, it actually set it a day forward. So that was kind of a weird bug. So what I needed to do is connect it up in my app and sync the time. That being said, I can't imagine someone's regularly going to attach and disconnect cameras. At least I wouldn't. I was only doing it for my sample. Typically you would connect up the cameras you want to connect up, set the time, and just leave it be. So that's why the time was off in a couple of my videos I just posted. So another thing I want to talk about is the resolution. If you have the front camera alone, you can do the 4K UHD. If you have it with one of the other cameras, you can do 4K UHD. If you have all 3 cameras, then this is limited to the 2K QHD resolution on the front camera. And then the other 2 cameras are 1080p. And you can also run 1080p on the front camera if you want to have more recording time. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.